Hey guys, today's video is going to be about ANZAC Day and what ANZAC Day means to me, the country, and how it's changed the world. ANZAC Day was a battle during World War One, where it was Australia and New Zealand Army Corps, so some troops from both Australia and New Zealand, on the 25th of April 1914, landed on the battlefronts of Gallipoli against the Ottoman Empire, and has changed a bit of the world today, and they call it ANZAC Cove there, also known as Gallipoli, and that is in Turkey. ANZAC Day means to me because I had family that fought in both World War One and Two, but it's mostly focused towards World War One, and I had lost a family relative of mine, my great grandfather's brother, who drowned in the Nile River during World War One, and he's now buried up in Egypt. And yeah, so throughout this video today is going to be about what ANZAC Day is, and I'm going to break it down a bit more. So ANZAC Day, 25th of April 1915, Australia, New Zealand, the Army Corps, was a battle against the Ottoman Empire on the Turkish coast of Gallipoli Peninsula. About 130,000 troops were lost. 87,000 of them were from the Ottoman Empire, and 44,000 were from New Zealand and Australia, along the Allied countries. There's been no official record of what time it was that the Gallipoli campaign when the troops landed. But every year here in New Zealand and Australia, they do a dawn service, and then in Gallipoli, or where they call ANZAC Cove, they do an ANZAC service there. This year, the Turkish forces are actually not allowed to be there this year, because both Australia and New Zealand have deemed, well, it'd be better to have just New Zealand and Australians at the peninsula for the year. Also, they do sometimes a civic civic service, and then they also broadcast it on television. Just recently, after these Christchurch attacks, a lot of the ANZAC parades have been cut short, because in Auckland and other major city centres, they've been cut short, and they've all had to merge as at least one or couple of them because of what happened at Christchurch this year. But that still doesn't change the purpose of ANZAC Day. ANZAC Day is a remembrance of the ones that have fallen for us, before us, in New Zealand, Australia, England, wherever they are from, in the Allied side, wherever in the world they were. And yeah, World War One was a bloody battle with a lot of trenches. It was Germany, the Ottoman Empire, which is now known as Turkey, and a lot of other things. I've always been trying to look at more in depth in what ANZAC Day is, meaning more to me, myself, as well as knowing a bit more every year of how it changes the livelihoods, of the impact of people, of the generations that have been before us, that have been passed down to us. And personally, I would like to know a bit more on ANZAC Day. I do still learn about it, I still research about it. So yeah, that is a brief information about ANZAC Day, where I can't remember the date that World War One started, but I know it was in 1914. This year is 108 years since World War One. No, 105 years since World War One started. And on the 11th day of the 11th month, in the 11th hour, the 11th minute, in 1918, World War One had ended with an armistice, with a ceasefire and armistice, and all guns had just stopped. There were a lot of casualties in that battle, but nothing they thought would happen in the future till 1930s, 1929. I won't explain that today in this video, but I will talk about it in some later video about how Hitler had rose to power with and caused World War II to start. But I'm going to talk about what ANZAC Day is and World War One a bit more. I'm going to get more input from my family. I'm going to ask my grandmother and my grandfather on what their inputs about ANZAC Day are. And I'm going to probably give my father a phone call and talk to him and see on a ex-serviceman's perspective on ANZAC Day, to see what it means to him. So yeah, this is one part. I'm gonna put up a post of a picture of the Flanders Fields poet. That was a poet about the Anzacs in World War One who lost their lives, fought for their lives. And the Flanders Field is about one special thing here in New Zealand, which is called the poppy, that they use on Anzac every year. They call it a poppy day, the Friday before Anzac Day. Well, usually it is, but the poppy is a red thing, and it's this. This is what you call the poppy. The poppy, each poppy that someone donates coins to, they get they can have the choice of putting a poppy in, and that means a symbol of life, and that was given to us for sacrifice. So yeah, I'm gonna start making questions around people, ask them what Anzac Day really means to them. So where I'm currently standing is the monument of the ones that have fallen here in Waipu of World War One, and the names around here. This is the board of names, and on here is two of my relatives. Harold Latius Vale, my great-grandfather, who went to World War One, and then William Ralph Vale, who drowned in Palestine on the 10th of July 1917.
What does ANZAC Day mean for me? ANZAC Day means that it is a day for which people have died under our flag. It is for people who have done our country proud and who has fought off a big war to save our country. It's also for the people who are on home guard, for people who try to invade our country, to make sure that we didn't get attacked. ANZAC Day means to me people who have made our country the country that we are today. I think what really matters is that ANZAC Day is a day that we remember the people who made us proud.
So it's current day, ANZAC Day 2019. Today was actually quite interesting for a change. We're here normally in Waipu every other year that I've been here for an ANZAC parade or an ANZAC service. It's been march from the pizza barn down to the Presbyterian church, go into the church, have a service in there, like there's a bit of an ANZAC story in there, and then you can come out of the church, you form up outside the cenotaph with the picture that I've just shown you, and you do your service and you lay your wreaths in there, and then you march back to the RSA. This year, we marched from the pizza barn down to the cenotaph at 11 o'clock this morning. They had a CRJ Hercules, a Lockheed Martin's Hercules, which is a plane that the Royal New Zealand Air Force have, and they use it to go over and help with emergency supplies and that. And today, ANZAC Day, meant a lot to me, besides having my own family that fought in the wars, but it makes me think of my own father. My own dad was actually in the Royal New Zealand Navy for 9 years, 9 months, and I'm quite grateful for him still being alive. He fought for his own nation, and not really fought, but served for his own nation, and he's had pride for himself. And if he watches this video, I'm gonna say to this: I am thankful for you, Dad. Thank you for your service. I'm grateful for it. I was talking to some of the ones that were outside of the Defence Force. Like one of the ones that I was talking to today, who's from St. John. He's a homosexual, like he's gay. Okay, I support the gay community, but like he was right up there. It stopped him from being a national CEO of St. John in New Zealand because of what his sexuality was back in the day, in the 80s. But now today that can't stop him now. But he's now retired from St. John after 53 years. And I've got a little prayer at the end, and I'm gonna put the ode up on the on this tonight too. So I'll be reading out my prayer, and then I will be reading out the ode. So I hope you guys like this video, and I'll be back. Our Father who art in heaven, give us this day for the ones who sacrificed their lives for ANZAC Day, and those who are currently serving for us, and the ones that retired that have a legacy to tell. We are grateful for the ones who fought for us as they sacrificed their own lives for our freedom. God, you have given them mercy over everything that they've done, and now it's their turn to rest where they lay for your judgment day. And also forgive those that trespassed against us and use of terror and New Zealand and Sri Lanka forever and ever. Amen. They shall not grow old as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down in the sun and in the morning we will remember them. Yeah, guys, that's basically a conclusion of After All today, and basically yesterday's story that I've been doing on my video. I hope you liked this video. Please like, subscribe, comment what I need to improve, and I hope to hear from you guys soon. God bless everybody, and remember to stay positive.